Lagos, Nigeria is infamous for its unbearable traffic. More than 20 million people call this place home, but getting around is easier said than done. Join my trip on Lagos's first metro line. Let's see what the Blue Line has to offer. The Blue Line is a 13-kilometer long metro line connecting Mile 2 on the mainland with Marina on the island, and they are currently planned in motion to extend the Blue Line from Mile 2 towards Lasu, but it currently takes 18 minutes to travel one way. We agreed to meet at a certain time, but somebody came late. What do you have to say for yourself? What do you have to say for yourself? Alright, well done, boss. I don't leave you. I can't do it now. The first trains move by 6:30 a.m. and the last by 9 p.m. The Blue Line is a contactless system, so you get a cowrie card and then you preload it money. So when you get to the turnstile, you tap in and it's as easy as that. We got down to the platform almost immediately and we only had to wait a couple minutes until we began feeling the vibration of the train, and then we knew it was almost here. The train is a Type B metro train made by a Chinese company, obviously, and it has 4 different cabins. And due to the fact that it's electric, there is no need for a special cabin reserved for just powering. As always, Nigeria or Lagos loves ads, so there are ads on the train. It's slick, but we had to wait a couple seconds after it stopped before the doors open. I must tell you that my first impressions of this train were incredible. I had seen a lot of content, and I'm sure you have too, obviously. Especially when it first launched, if you were a Nigerian or a Lagosian, you could not escape content of it. But you know how we are with maintenance in our country. But when I got in, it still looked as great as the first day I saw videos and pictures of it. I'd have to give it to the team that it's still in great condition after a year. It looked very white and sterile, not necessarily a bad thing. What do you think of the cabin so far? I like it a lot. On board there are TVs where at some point there was some live spot, and then at some other point they were playing music. It took us 3 minutes to go from the Mile 2 station to the station at Alaba Suru. We didn't spend much time at the station in Alaba Suru, and I feel like if not for the stops, the train could have gone considerably faster, and I don't believe they are running it at its full potential. But this part of the rail line is on ground level, but as we get closer to the island, it gets elevated, and you'll see the difference soon. It goes without saying that the Blue Line train, or the Lagos Metro for that matter, has been a long time coming. Lagos, Nigeria has needed a metro line for a very long time, and if you've spent a day in this city, you would agree with me. So this train means a lot to me, more than most people can imagine, because as a student of history in Nigeria, I learned from my dad how the Lagos Metro was supposed to have been built and commissioned in 1983, but a certain military man came in and cancelled an already signed deal. So it's 40 years late, but I feel like it's right on time anyways. Being a Nigerian in Nigeria these days, there really isn't much to look forward to or much to be excited about, but seeing something like this being done in the midst of all the brouhaha shows me and other Nigerians like you that things can actually get better. Welcome to the Iganmu Blue Line station. It's the last station on the mainland, and after this the track becomes elevated and you get to grow alongside the Lagos Lagoon towards Marina. When the Blue Line project was initially announced in 2014, when then President Jonathan went to China and signed the deal, I was like, will this ever happen in my lifetime? I hope you've been enjoying this video so far. I had a lot of fun making it with my friend, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, you should definitely consider subscribing. Welcome to the Lagos National Arts Theatre. It's the penultimate station on this line, and just look at this building. It has to be one of my best architectural masterpieces in Nigeria. It's a building well done and, in my opinion, out of the box. I've been to the National Arts Theatre a couple times as a child, but for a couple years the theatre was out of shape due to poor maintenance, but it's finally back in shape after being renovated. What really stands out to me the most is the fact that it's shaped like a military art. We leave the National Theatre behind as we travel through its massive premises. It has a lot of land dedicated to it. It goes without saying that this part of the video especially looked very picturesque, and it just looked like it's seen out of a movie, I would say. The Blue Line is supposed to be the beginning of Lagos's metro drive. At the time of recording this video, the Red Line was operational, and you can watch the video of that right now. Lagos has 3 bridges connecting the mainland to the island. The They are the Eco Bridge, Kata Bridge, and Third Mainland Bridge. If you look out the window, you would see the Eco Bridge from this line. Bridges have become an essential part of life in Lagos due to its geography. Welcome to Lagos Island. You might be in Lagos and somebody tells you I'm going to Lagos. They are not making a mistake. There's actually somewhere in Lagos called Lagos, but that's a conversation for another day. Most Lagosians will tell you they either live on the island or mainland, although some people might argue, but we are 100% on the island right now. The island versus mainland conversation in Nigeria has gone beyond where you live. It has become a conversation of haves versus have-nots. There is a belief that people that live on the island, quote unquote, whatever you consider the island, are more well off than those that live on the mainland, but I do not believe that that's always the truth. But who knows? The conversation has become a them versus us, with many people moving into small rooms, living in boxes on the island just to say I live on the island. I guess it's all about the zip code. The trip so far has been exciting, but tell me about your experience. Have you been on any intra-city trains recently anywhere in the world? How do you think this experience so far compares to similar experiences elsewhere? After 18 minutes on the train, we slowly pulled into the Marina station. If you look at videos or pictures online, you would definitely see Marina station because it's the most picturesque. It's the fastest way to go from Mile 2 or Festac area towards the island, at least for now. The train returns almost immediately after arrival. We made this trip in the evening on a Friday, so lots of people were traveling from the island where they walk to the mainland where they live. That's why the train was a bit empty when we were coming, but definitely more people were getting on as we were getting off. We walked across the platform and used the escalator. You can also decide to use the stairs down to the ticketing area. So the way it works is the platform is at the top, the ticketing area is in the middle, and then on the ground floor is where you would see it street level. Revi decided to get a drink at the terminal. I think there are a couple vendors with shop spaces there, and then we got to enjoy the aquatic views. Like, see, I might have my issues with parts of Lagos, but the views from Marina, 10 out of 10 every single time. Then we decided to walk around Marina and see what was happening. We visited Tafawa Balewa Square, Randu Museum, the National Museum, Oniko Stadium for about an hour. We didn't really go in, but we just went around. Our trip back to the mainland was definitely more hectic than coming to the island. And all through this experience, I kept wondering how people with accessibility issue got to use the train. And when we got to the top of the platform, I saw the accessibility escalator and all my questions were answered. When we got to the ticketing floor, we had to go through a short queue to board the train, and I had no idea why people were rushing, were pushing. I'm like, yo, there is more than enough space for everybody. But I don't know, I think it's just a Nigerianness. We went up the platform after tapping in, and I got to see the accessibility elevator, not escalator. Glad to know everybody can enjoy this train. While on the platform, I feel like it's the right time to tell you that there are massive plans for Marina as a metro station. The second phase of the red line will connect to this station in Marina, and the proposed green line heading towards Ibejuleki will also connect to this line. So in the future, it's very possible for you to be able to go from Marina to all corners of the state by rail. Lagos is a very camera-phobic place, so whenever you have the opportunity to take pictures, take it. The train arrived on time. It was a bit scary to see people move towards the electrified exits without waiting for the train to come to a stop. That could have been deadly. The train stopped, and right on cue, people rushed in, fighting themselves to get seats, and there was enough seats for everybody. Marina is a bit of a special situation. It was Lagos's first financial and business hub, and it was the place in Lagos for a long time. But unfortunately, it has become a bit of a shell of its former self. There are a lot of tall buildings that were built during the 1900s, and the buildings, although very tall, they have this sort of Soviet era feel. I would say that it has one of the most inspirational skylines in Africa, or at least had. Anyways, it's still a major business hub, and it houses the headquarters of some massive banks. Why don't you subscribe as we pull into the National Theatre train station? During the journey, we realized that we do not need to go back to Mile 2. It made much more sense to stop at the National Theatre station. But Revi was on the fence for a while, and then as soon as we got there, she decided, okay, come, let's get down. So we had to run out, literally. We watched the train pull out as we admired the views to one of my favorite buildings in Nigeria. You should consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this from across Africa. You just sent me 20,000 naira. Guys, Revi is my sugar mommy. Every where can they reach out to you? Maybe like a YouTube channel so that they can ask you for money.
Well, people will reach out to me every day.
At all stations, you tap out your card when you get out, so that calculates your fare depending on where you got on and where you get off.